and study those and renew and renew.
Really?
And then I would buy magic books. And, when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of contact with other magicians aside from every February at Don's Magic Shop. He would Don Hilbrands, he would guide me
Oh, really?
a little bit down there. But he was really the only professional magician I knew. So I was kind of on my own, reading about it and studying. And now with the internet, it's so much easier to connect with magicians and even magicians you admire. I mean, it's a very accessible kind of small
really?
community.
Is
Yeah,
that true?
wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, great people in magic. And it's really kind of a family. People want to help each other out. There's not as much kind of competition
I
as
did
you
not
would
know
think
that.
because it's a small number of us who do it full time
Right.
professionally.
Well, I think what people don't always realize, maybe they do. I mean, how do I know? Right? I'm just talking through my hat here, but that magic is not knowledge as much as it's skill. I mean, you're just practicing. You practice. If you ever read a magic trick, you can read it, but to do it, you just have to you just have to practice.
Yeah, well, it's really both. I mean, there's a lot of psychology involved in it, a lot of
Evidently, because you just like twisted me around with that firecracker thing.
Right. But there's a lot of kind of thinking about how things are going to appear to the audience, because the magic really kind of happens in the audience's mind anyway. I mean, you're showing them one thing, but they're kind of filling in the blanks in their head. So that's something I really like about it. It's kind of a a thinking man's performing art, because you really have to kind of know what kind of impression you're giving and how to put a show together with variety and different types of effects and things like that. But like you said, also there's that skill, sleight of hand and misdirection, things that go into the actual physical performance of magic.
Now, do you do, because there's different kinds of magic, do you do it all? Do you do prestidigitation?
Yeah, it's a great word, isn't it?
Yeah, I love that word. And Mr. You do so you do all the classic stuff.
Well, I do my thing. I call it comedy magic. I try and do kind of a lighthearted version of magic, but I try and do really strong magic. But making it fun and interactive for the audience too. So yeah, I do sleight of hand. I do some bigger illusions. I've got a couple of things. I can make a CEO appear or a VIP appear for like corporate events. If the
so if they're wondering who to promote to the CEO, you can just say, "Listen, I'll take care of it." You don't know. You got 5 people. You don't know which one you want. Just send me down, and I'll get one for you.
That's right. So yeah, I do an illusion where I can make somebody appear. I do a sawing in half thing. I do a levitation. But I also do smaller magic, making things disappear kind of under test conditions and, making things travel from one place to another invisibly.
Well, I think that one of the attractions to magic is that even if you never get anyone up on stage from the audience does participate because they are sort of part of the magic. You say it happens in people's minds.
Exactly.
And they are really part of the show, whether they get up on stage or not. But you do some audience participation, I take it.
Yeah, get a lot of people up with me. I try and do audience participation with everybody out, in the audience, like we're going to do in a little bit here. Get your deck of cards ready.
Yeah.
And
Do it right over the internet. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Magic over the internet. And so, I try and make it something really different for an audience. It's different than going to see, music or even a play where you're really kind of just watching it. I get everybody involved. So it's something.
Now,
different.
have you ever tried ventriloquism?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that as a kid too. Yeah.
I can sense that.
Yep. Yeah. It's it's one of those kind of allied arts things. It's like ventriloquism, magic, and juggling, and singing and acting. It's all kind of in the same area of the library. So I did a little bit of that as a kid too. Yeah.
You ever think about getting back to it? I can just see you do it. You have great pipes.
Thanks.
But you also, it's too bad. I mean, it's radio, but if you can tell that you just have it. You have a certain presence, and you also know. I mean, I just know the way you're looking at me when you look. You could probably be doing something with your elbow, and I wouldn't notice it.
Thank you.
Because that's part of it.
He's stealing your car right now.
Right, that's right. He's in my car right now, and I just can't see
Exactly.
it. But I can see how you can do some misdirection. You really have it, and I can see. I'd hire you.
Thank you. Oh, thanks.
No, really. If anyone's out there thinking about it, this guy's got it. I can just tell that he's got it. And you could probably get away with ventriloquism even if you weren't very good. Well, some ventriloquists are better than others, technically.
That's right.
But they're really entertaining, so who cares?
Exactly. And that's got a great history, too. I've always been fascinated with that. And, of course, one of the biggest stars in the world right now, Jeff Dunham, is a ventriloquist and kind of brought it back from obscurity. And, Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of ventriloquists. In fact, Ron Lucas is a great ventriloquist. He was an influence on me as a kid, and puppetry and performing live. That's a perfect combination. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you must. I mean, I just love that stuff, and I'm really glad that it's still being done. And I thought myself, with the demise of the variety show on television, and even to an extent the demise of Johnny Carson, who is just someone I always idolized, even though I've never been in the business. I mean, to this little thing. But I keep saying that because he would do anything because he was so good. He could have any act
Yep.
on, and so he could have a magician on. We could have Orson Welles going make an idiot out of himself. It was fun because he had that self-confidence. Johnny did. But there aren't people like that anymore. A lot of that format now, they just didn't really want to take any chances at all. It's the same 12 people on.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you're right, and there's no variety on TV.
But it still does exist. I mean, it's still possible to go see a magician or a ventriloquist or a puppet show. We know that, of course.
Yeah,
but
exactly. And I think that makes it that much more exciting when you go and see it, because it's almost like people have, if you've forgotten about it and you go, most people have never seen a live magic show.
I know,
and
and
when
they
they
should.
do, it's a totally different experience because you're right
Yeah.
there and you're seeing it live. It's more impressive.
That's one of the problems is, we don't see enough that's live. Like,
Mm-hmm.
go see Matt Roberts if you can. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Tell your dreams to me. Fantasy will set you free. Close your eyes, girl.
Alrighty, we're back here with Matt Roberts and David Faria. Look up Matt Roberts at www.mattrobertsmagic.com. If just take my word, it's just like the Pepsi Grant thing. Take my word for it. Just go to the site, vote. Matt did. Or take my word for it. Just call Matt at 508-965-3489 and hire him for something. Hire him for your next corporate party. And your gig again coming up is what? January the what?
Yeah, it's at the Regent Theater on January 29th, 10:30 a.m. And yeah, it's a show for the whole family. It's my big stage show, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Very cool. Do you want to... Oh, and the other thing I want to mention is that I have seen plenty of magic on television. I've seen a little bit on in the related arts, live. Now that I'm back in civilization, I can see a little bit more of it. But I was away from all that for a long time.
It always sounds like prison when you talk about that. Just letting you know.
I was living in a snow cave.
Seriously,
and
it's like you're exiled on like with Napoleon on an island or something.
Well, Maine's beautiful. There's no culture. But no, I was living in a debris hut on an apple orchard.
I think we've insulted maniacs.
But go see something live. You see Matt Roberts live. See something live. Let's pick that phone and call up. Hi, you on the air? What up?
Good morning, folks. I realize I'm about an hour late.
Oh yeah, Dan. We're gonna have to postpone this interview until tomorrow.
Okay.
But listen to the show, man. We got this cool magic trick coming up.
All right, take care.
All right, see you, man. Yeah, he hates me now.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with that now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, because I've been staring at this little stack of cards for 45
You're
minutes
itching,
now.
aren't you?
Right, yeah. Get your cards out,
well,
everybody.
After that other one, because what I was going to say is that I've seen it on television and all that, but when he just did that trick on me live, it's just a lot cooler. It wasn't just because it was me. If David was the what do you call it? The dupe?
Victim?
No, never.
Sucker?
Assistant.
Right. If David was the sucker, it would be just
well-respected
just
assistant.
as cool. Because I think when you see it on TV, you always think that there may be some string that you don't see. There's always that doubt in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Penn and Teller, there's something. Well, maybe there's something.
Well, television does that to you.
Right.
It does.
Yeah, you see
It's
David
cynical.
Copperfield, and you say, well, if I was there in a boat, the Statue of Liberty wouldn't disappear. It was all television. It's just all green screen. But when you see it live, there's really much less doubt in your mind. As a matter of fact, all you're doubting is your own mind.
Exactly, which causes insanity in some instances.
Right. So teetering on the edge of insanity. I'm willing to go ahead with this trick. But really, go see Magic. Go see somebody. Just get out of your house and go see something live. Go see Magic live. It's just cool.
Absolutely.
What we got here?
All right, I'm going to talk directly to the listeners. You guys can follow along with your cards. So if you got a deck of cards at home, we're going to do this all together because I'd like to give you an example of just how easily a password can be hacked using a little bit of extrasensory perception. Now, I want you to take a deck of cards and remove 9 cards. Now, you guys have your 9 here.
9.
And that's all we're going to use, just 9. But count them out carefully so you know that you have the right number. Okay, you can put the rest of the cards aside. You're going to use just those 9. So, mix those cards up. And I'll point out to you, I don't have any idea which 9 cards you removed from the deck. Now, with the packet mixed and all squared up, I want you to look at the bottom card, the card facing out. Now, since I'm not there with you, I can't ask you to pick a card, so we're going to say that that's the card you just picked. Of course, as long as it's on the bottom of the packet, it's easy to find. So I'm going to have you mix the cards, but we'll do it in a specific way. I want you to think of a password, any word with less than 9 letters. And you can use any password you like, a friend's name, a pet's name. Maybe it's a password you use on your computer. I don't want you to say it out loud. Just remember it. Now hold the 9 cards face down. I want you to spell the password in your head, dealing 1 card on the table for each letter. In other words, if you had thought of the word dog, you'd deal 3 cards one at a time on top of each other, spelling D-O-G. So do that now. Spell your own password, dealing the cards face down in a pile on the table. Good. Now you probably have some cards left in your hand, and if you do, just drop them on top of the cards on the table and pick up the whole packet again. I want to show you what just happened. So keep the packet in order, but turn it face up and spread it like a hand of cards. You'll see that the bottom card is now moved based on your own personal password. Don't change the order, just square them again and turn them face down. We're going to keep mixing them, and now I don't want you to look at how they're getting mixed, so I don't want you to know where the card ends up. So this time I want you to spell the word my. Just deal the cards on the table for M-Y and drop the rest of the cards on top, just as you did before. Now pick up the packet, and you're going to spell the word password. So deal the cards down in a pile, spelling with me. P-A-S-S-W-O-R-D. Drop the extra card on top, and then pick them all up. And now we'll spell another short word. Spell the word is. Deal 2 cards down. I-S. Drop the rest of the cards on top, and pick them all up. So you just spelled my password is. Of course, those were the words I told you to use. But now I want you to use your own personal password again. Spell your password one more time, dealing cards on the table. When you're finished, drop all the rest of the cards on top.